Hey, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, so Brother Aharon coming back at you with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. All right, and this is, I guess, is going to be more of a dream. All right, that I had this morning. Okay, not so much a lesson, but a dream. And, I actually just shared it with my brother, but basically, all right, in this dream, I'm going to do my best to remember. All right, it was all hell basically breaking loose. All right, and, when I was telling my brother about it, he was saying that, hey, it's crazy because, a lot of videos been going up, lately, in regards to this topic of, basically the end of days type, all hell breaking loose type shit, But in this dream, that day, that sudden day, it happened. It actually happened. And before it did, I'll say about a week before it happened, all of a sudden the Spirit just got on us to start getting everything in motion. Like, oh, I'm telling my Eve, I'm like, yo, make sure when you're coming back from work, make sure you stop to get this and get that. Like it just came instinctively. So the Spirit had us preparing, all right, without even knowing what's going on. Every store we went to, the clerk would be looking at us like, oh, why you guys buying all this stuff? Like, you don't normally get these things. And we just told them like, oh yeah, it's just got family coming over, so, it's going to be a huge party. And they were just kind of like looking at us crazy. We went to different stores to get different things, just to get ready. And then literally within that same week, all right, the lights went out. The lights went out, and we had planned for this. The Spirit got on us where we had planned for it, so we were kind of prepared for it. So the lights went out, and everyone was kind of like, in shambles. The inner cities was packed. You had cars, you had trucks, you had, ambulance, swinging by. You got helicopters. What I'm saying? Like it was the inner cities was filled with, traffic and death. What I'm saying? Like if you stand at the top of the building, you could see the city, especially at night. Parts of the city was blacked out. And other parts was it had light. But it was very sporadic. Certain places would have the light, and other places just was pitch black. You saw helicopters flying over different parts of the city. You hear screams, like you could hear, people screaming, and then gunshots fly off, and then the screaming stops. What I'm saying? And in the dream, it was very much like if you had weapons, you had an upper hand against those who didn't have weapons, right? So, it was civilians against civilians, and what was happening was, being that there was no electricity, there was no power everywhere. If you didn't have any sense of defense, you were basically left to the elements. What I'm saying? Like you would either you just starve to death, or you got frozen to death, or something that you had to fight, and it wasn't just people, it was just like the elements. Most people just weren't prepared for that. What I saw was initially we thought maybe the troops gonna come in right away, but they didn't do that. They basically went house to house, door to door, going after everyone who didn't have a sense of defense. Like if you didn't have guns, because they knew who had purchased guns and so on and so forth, ammo and all that. So if you had done that, they didn't come to you right away. It took a few days after that before they start coming after people like that. But initially, they were going after those who didn't have anything, and whatever food, whatever you had, they would just take it away from you and take you with them. So that's how it played out in the initial stages. And you had people getting picked up from houses. I remember seeing that. I remember seeing, people getting trucked up, like people getting picked up in trucks, just like we've been saying. Boatloads of truckloads of people just being carried away. You hear people screaming, You know, people being grabbed up and tossed into the back of the trucks. You know, um, and then they were saying that it wasn't just people. It was also like this. There was a thing that had happened where people weren't just fighting against other civilians. It was more like you had to fight against the military. You had to fight against civilians that were armed. And then there was this thing that was going around. People were just turning into animals and shit. Like they had this infection. I guess that's where they get the whole zombie thing. But it wasn't like zombies like how you see it in the movies. It was weird. It was like people who didn't look like people, but they didn't think like people either. So like if you were smart enough and you could use your natural senses, you could avoid them. But those who weren't smart enough, they just see it, they'll be scared, and then you make a sound, and then that's it. Yeah, they come after you. You know. So the government had it where those who had ammo, they were just wiping each other out, and those who didn't have ammo were just scooped up and sent someplace else. So the city was basically like violence. Like people were just going at it. People were just going at each other. Fighting each other. Killing each other. That was just the norm. You know. And if you didn't have anything, hey, may the Lord be with you, kind of thing. But those who were with us initially, they were all regular people, that were of the elect. We had food, we had a place to stay. We had brothers who were around. Everybody was on guard. You know, and then you had like I was saying, helicopters. I saw a lot of that. They were flying around, flying over buildings. Like you could hear that it was busy. What I'm saying, the places were busy. Yeah, that's pretty much. After that, I woke up. And I was telling my brother about it. I was like, hey, this is the dream that I just had. But yeah, he said, hey, a lot of people have been having dreams like these lately, so that could be a sign. But yeah, it happened suddenly. But for us, it wasn't that sudden. It was more like, yo, that's why we've been preparing. All of a sudden, the spirit was on us to get these items, and now look, that kind of energy. But for the most part, for everybody else, it was a sudden thing. And yeah, man, America looked different, bro. The cities, you go to New York City, it was just like complete different atmosphere, a different world altogether. It's just like people that you knew, you didn't want to get to know them no more. You were just like moving away from people as much as you can, because the people became the enemy. What I'm saying? Like the people became the enemy. That was the first line of defense that you had to have, is against the regular people that were bugging the hell out. But if you're in the cities, man, you get caught out there, you're done, bro. You're not going to make it out because the lights went out. And when the lights are out, at that point, it's all chaos. You don't have, you don't have like the police, to come in and, make sure that you're good or that kind of thing. It was just like the lights are out and you just got to deal with it. If you don't have any sense of defense, then, hey, you're assed out, So, we had a prayer, that we prayed, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Babakusha, help us, in Hebrew. And for those who were around us, they all knew that prayer, but if you didn't know that prayer, you were just assed out. You had to fend for yourself, so yeah, just wanted to share that with you real quick. It's all going into the signs of the times, going into the prophecy in Joel. Let's see if we can get that real quick. Going into the dreams, all right, and the visions and so on and so forth. See if we can pull this up real quick. There's a book of Joel chapter 2 and verse 28. It says, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions." Okay, so verse 29, it says, "And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit." All right, so we had the spirit of intuition, and a vision. All right, so we saw things before they happened, more on a vivid level. You know what I'm saying? Like instinctively, you just had this calling, like, yo, get this, get that, set this up, go over here. Like we were in a secluded area, in a place where most people just wouldn't want to go. That was the whole point, is to be a deterrent. So you see a place, like you might see a building, but you might not want to go into that building because you're just like, ain't no lights there, it might be freezing. But meanwhile, we were chilling, so on the outside, it looked like you don't want to be here. But on the inside, you'd be like, I don't want to get out of here, So that was a thing that the Lord did for us, But yeah, I just wanted to share that real quick. The dream felt very vivid. So who knows? But hey, it's coming. It's coming. It's definitely coming, man. It's at the door. You know what I'm saying? Like America is definitely going to change. The world is going to change in an instant, just like that. And guess what? For those who have your faith and belief in your governments to save you and help you, yeah, man, you're going to be in for a rude awakening because they were coming after regular people. All right. The government was part of the people that was shooting people down, arresting people. It was unforgiving. It wasn't cool. It wasn't cool at all. It was very noisy, but they shut that shit down quick, man. So hey, prepare. Prepare. But guess what? Your ammo, your guns, and all that shit is not gonna save you in these days, man. You have to have the spirit of the Lord, the hedge of protection over you. That's the only way. That's the only way, man. To be guided, to be comforted. You know what I'm saying? Like to walk in a certain way that brings that peace in a time like that. Only the Lord can provide that. So that's why the scriptures tell you that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. Because if you know, all right, what's going on and understand the times that you're in, you know exactly where to go to, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But for the rest who don't have that navigation, that compass, all right, you get caught out there, man. There's a lot more people that got cooked. And before it all went down, I met a lot of people that I was, as I'm getting prepared and ready, that were joking. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, you guys don't know what's going on. You guys don't see what's happening. Like they getting everything ready, like obviously, and you're not preparing. And it was always a joke. They still have their phones. And then all of a sudden, suddenly the Lord just snatches all that shit away from them. Your ways of living is just tainted. It's gone, just like that. Just in a split second, man. You know what I'm saying? So hey, just prepare, man. The days are definitely evil, and the days are short, and it's coming. It's coming. All right. So I just wanted to share that with brothers and sisters real quick. Lord willing, you were edified. And Dawadiya Bashmi Hasha for reminding me of certain parts of the dream. It's like different scenes, but now you see why the visions sometimes when you read in the scriptures is written the way it's written, because no dream is sequential. You have dreams where one scene you're here in a different place, like it looks like a different country, but you might be in another place, and it's like it makes sense during the time of the dream, but when you're telling it or writing it down, it's like you can't really put it in an order, because based on how the dream is played out, you can't really put it in an order. But it's what happened. Is the most important thing is the things that are actually happening, not so much the order of it. But hey, we know the order, so we know what's coming. All right, so I'm gonna leave it off there, Lord willing. You got some information or it was informative to you, and we gear up for what's coming. All right. So Dawadi Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Call Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Until next time. Shalom.